Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move, less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Fun. Those are the three things at the top of my list every time I visit a Harris property in the state of North Carolina. Chuck Oliver here, and we've been broadcasting the Chuck Oliver Show at both Harris locations in North Carolina for the past few years since we helped cut the ribbon on the great new Caesar Sportsbook. So we're going back to Harris Cherokee on November 21st. Just a couple weeks back, we were at Harris Valley River in Murphy. My goodness, the expansion, renovation, improvements, like all of the stuff you want is still there and bigger and newer and nicer. The poker room, the Caesar Sportsbook, restaurant options, all of it at Harris Valley River in Murphy. So there's two locations, the OG in Cherokee, the newly expanded and awesome location in Murphy, about an hour away. One location online. It's harrischcherokee.com.
Must be 21 years of age or older to enter the casino floor and to gamble, and must present a valid state or federal photo ID upon request. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. An enterprise of the Eastern Band of Cherokee.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN, 2 p.m. on both Tuesdays and Thursdays, all throughout the football season. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Alabama defensive back Keon Sapp.
A little after the injury, just talking to my parents, my family, different coaches and different things like that, just feel like that was the right decision, come back. We didn't finish how we wanted to last year. And this year we have the opportunity with the team we have. So looking forward to it.
Of course, you're coming back to this defense, but really a lot of guys are coming back, especially in the secondary. How strong is that group?
I just can't wait till the game time and the whole world gets to see what we have. So it's going to be special. We got a lot of talent, and some people might be surprised, and there's some people out there that already know the business. So it's going to be great to show up.
I'll have more in a moment. Hey, Bama fans, each Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. If you missed last night's episode of Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast, as well as the video stream on all Alabama Athletics social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. There you have it. We're back. We're live. We're brand new. We're off. We're running. We're everything. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, 7 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Big thank you, Talent Heating and Air, talenthvac.com, helping us get cranked up here on a Thursday morning. Beautiful day, a little chilly start to the day. 42 degrees right now. Your high today is 73. Your low tomorrow, 43. Lows next week in the 40s. May need to think about turning on the heat if you've not already done so. And that means a good time to give Talon Heating and Air a call, 256-503-4490. Get that air conditioner, get that system all tuned up. TalonHVAC.com. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, get it done. They can do tune-up, service, repair, ductwork. Don't forget, you can get it now tuned up for just $49. Ask them about the TVA rebate. I know we say it every day. TVA is going to give you $50. Talon Heating and Air is charging you $49. You can make a buck. Get it done. Talon Heating and Air, TalonHVAC.com. 256-576-4977, the number to the phone lines. You can join us here on a Thursday morning. A lot of stuff to get through. College football news. Plenty of college football news to get through today. Plenty of college football news. Even got to slip in some college baseball news. And we'll even throw in some college basketball news. Because I think personally it was a black-eyed day for college basketball yesterday. We'll explain it all when we return. Not when we return, but we'll explain it all throughout the morning. We got 2 hours to do so. College football news from yesterday. And if you were paying attention to the college football landscape, especially in the Southeastern Conference, this was something that happened yesterday. And it was reports, got to give Yellowhammer News. You gotta credit Yellowhammer News for this one. Yellowhammer News yesterday reporting that longtime veteran SEC official Ken Williamson permanently suspended from college football of officiating conference games. Permanently suspended from officiating conference games. Ken Williamson. He is one of the conference's longest tenured officials with a record of major postseason assignments. Been doing this for a long time. So why the decision to remove one of the SEC's longest tenured officials? It came in the wake of an SEC review of 11 complaints against Williamson and his crew during the Auburn-Georgia game. Those complaints, remember, so this is how it works. And I think if you follow college football, and if you are a huge fan of college football, we're not telling you anything you don't already know. But if you don't follow college football at an ultimate high level, this is how it goes. You play the game. You either win the game or you lose the game. Coaches, athletic directors, or whatever, they sit down, they review the game. If there is a questionable call, if there is something you don't understand why it was called, you send those in to the SEC. You send those into the conference. The conference then, the officiating, they review it. They send you something back saying, okay, make sure you do this or make sure you do that or yeah, whatever. Auburn did what they normally do. Remember, we know all about that Auburn-Georgia game. Hugh Freeze and company sent in 11 complaints about that game. The SEC then yesterday, according to Yellowhammer News, saying they validated 9 of the 11 complaints that Ken Williamson had in that ball game.
Ken Williamson stinks. His crew stinks. He did the Alabama-Tennessee game in 2022. That's all you need to know. It's probably one of the top 2 to 3 worst officiated games in the history of the sport. It made you think the game was fixed, and I still think it was. I still think the back judge or whoever the hell the prick was that threw the flag 40 yards behind Kool-Aid McKinstry probably had a FanDuel account. I mean, it was a joke. There's no way Tennessee should have won that game. They weren't the better team. Everybody knows it. I was on a long diatribe with some Tennessee redneck hicks last night on my X account who basically were going back and forth, telling me to deal with it, all this stuff.
Right.
And it's fine. It's not going to change. Tennessee won the game. Congratulations. You've had your ass beat 17 out of 19. And if it wasn't for Ken Williamson, who's a clown, and his crew, you wouldn't have won the one in 22. And 24, you can thank Jalen Milroe. So I hope you recorded that. Like I told a couple of them, enjoy it because you got more ass whippings coming. I hate your school. I hate Tennessee. I hate the Great Pumpkin, a.k.a. Philip Fulmer. One dumbass Tennessee fan even said they ended Saban's career. And I had to rightfully point out that, hey, dumbass, his last game against Tennessee in 2023, he outscored the Vols 27-0 and won 34-20 in Tuscaloosa. I don't know where you were at the time, but you obviously were drunk or something like that, and you don't remember the game. All right? And one thing that's 110% true is he ended the Great Pumpkin's career. He ran his ass out of Knoxville after beating the hell out of him in 2008 when Julio Jones said, "Hold my beer." So, okay, he beat him like a yard dog without half his team because of a stupid suspension for a textbook scandal that was retarded. Yet he still onside kicked the first game in Tuscaloosa, was a decided underdog, and blew Tennessee off the field. So that's all I know. I guess it was probably PTSD from losing 15 in a row to Saban. But hey, give them one, I guess. Let the officials, give them one win over Nick Saban. And like I told him, I guess you guys had to rush the field and tear down the goalposts because you didn't think you were going to win the game. And that is 110% fact. You rush the field when you're Bush League.
So,
I hate you.
So this here permanently suspends somebody. Ken Williamson suspended 9 of the 11 against this Georgia game. I mean, we've talked a lot about how bad the SEC officiating has been.
It was terrible on both sides that night.
It's been bad, though, for not just – I mean, we've seen games this year. We've seen games last year and other games. I mean, are we going to see more of this?
I mean, you would hope not. You would hope that they would start putting even more money into the technology and into the training of officiating. I've said this before. It's become such a big money sport. You need to have full-time officials that's all they do.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It shouldn't be a part-time job. It's a very important job. It's a very hard job. Williamson had been doing it a long time, but I think his time had passed and his crew was awful. And then to let Kirby Smart convince you that he didn't call timeout, which was BS, he called timeout. And then on top of it, if he didn't call timeout, the play clock was at 1 second. So then you throw a flag and you give him a delay of game. It was one of the two. It was either a delay of game or it was and he didn't call a timeout, or either you go back and you look at it and you're like, okay, guys, it was either he did not call a timeout, right, and then it's a delay of game penalty, or in other words, or like to me, I guess I'm still flabbergasted by the whole thing because I'm sitting there watching it, and he's definitely signaling timeout. It looked like to me, so I'm like, you either go back and you make him take the timeout. Or if you say, okay, you didn't call timeout, coach, you're going to tell us you didn't, we'll give you that break, but we're not going to, restart the 25-second clock and the play clock and not call a penalty and just act like it never happened.
Yeah,
that was my biggest.
It's an imaginary down. Nothing happened.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting there just still kind of stuttering right now thinking about it because my goodness, it was either a 5-yard penalty, or you make Kirby take the timeout and say, no, coach, I'm sorry. You signaled timeout. We've got a timeout here. And that's what they should have done. But they totally botched that situation. And of course, we saw some of the other calls that they botched. And I knew Hugh Freeze had turned in a bunch. I didn't realize it was that many, but it doesn't shock me.
Terry McCauley, a longtime official, wrote this yesterday on his X account and said, if this is solely based on that one game, then shame on everybody involved. It's yet another reason why conferences should not be overseeing officiating and will forever be a dark stain on college football. He brings up another point that, and to your point as well, it should be a full-time job, but conferences themselves should not oversee their own officials.
Well, they kind of do this in college basketball. They don't have quote unquote SEC officials.
Right.
They just have a group of officials that do NCAA games. Probably should adopt the same kind of system for collegiate football officiating.
Just do away with Big Ten, SEC, ACC officials.
Williamson, this is just based on that Auburn-Georgia game. We already told you to go back and look
at other ones. Tennessee, Alabama.
22, and there's others, I'm sure.
Right.
But, I mean, I just think it was probably something that had been building up, and that 22. You're that 22 game is over 3 years ago, and yet you still have another kind of game like that lives in infamy with the Auburn Georgia game this year in Jordan-Hare. So, So
he was also in the Clemson Ohio State 2019 Fiesta Bowl game, where he controversially overturned a catch and a fumble by Clemson's Justin Ross, a play that had been returned for a touchdown by Ohio State.
Well, like I told you, the people that are saying, oh my goodness, they're overreacting over one game, they're not. Okay.
Right.
This has been building up. I'll even give Sankey and those guys credit for this. They're just putting the guy out to pasture because he's botched so many, and and somebody has to be the fall guy, to quote Jerry Glanville. And he's going to be it. And hopefully there's some young officials coming up that are taking pride in it and that want to do well. Now, their inexperience can be a problem because of the quality of play in the SEC. And there has been, all the way down to the high school level, a shortage of officials. I've told you how bad that some of the officiating I've seen this year has been.
Yeah.
Not every game, but just in certain situations. But and again, it's a very hard job. But,
it is.
I mean,
thankless job too.
But when you look at what Williamson's done the last few years, it's just a recurrence over and over and over again. And then it did look like that they were basically, Kirby Smart was telling them what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of like, are you guys so unorganized that you can't handle this? I mean, again, it's either a 5-yard penalty or a delay of game, or you just play on, and like I said, I just don't understand that. It's either a timeout and he has to burn it. I'm sorry, coach, you burn the timeout, or it's a delay of game. It's not like he never even attempted to call a timeout. It's not where you just start over. I mean, that was so egregious. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, I'm sitting here still. It's hard for me to explain, hard for me to verbalize it. And it was ridiculous.
Let's get Cody in real fast before the break. Good morning, Cody.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Good
morning, sir.
Yeah, I seen you on X last night, Drew. I sent you that message last night. Trying to give you a little firepower. I'm not saying you didn't need it, but it just, they beat us so much that we beat them, and they beat us in 22. They had to make tabletop book out of it.
I saw that patheticness. That's how Bush League you are. You beat a team, Scott, for the first time in 15 years. You don't even win a championship, or you don't go to the playoffs, but you make a hardback book with some Tennessee maggot standing over Bryce Young after he committed targeting that they didn't call, and they sell a book. But Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, go to hell, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was pulling extra hard Saturday because I'm a diehard Alabama fan, number one. But we're also leaving for Knoxville, or not Knoxville, but the Smoky Mountains in the morning and going to Dollywood.
Oh, wow, okay.
So yeah, that way I can wear my Alabama gear and walk, just a little bit taller in the shadows of Knoxville all weekend long, just to glorify, just kind of big mass in the victory we had this past weekend.
Yeah.
But good show, guys. I thought I'd call in, let y'all know, too, that I found that oatmeal ice cream. And there's a way I can try to get y'all some. One of these days I'll try to make it.
You found it. You found it at a Foodland, right?
Yeah, out here at Stevenson.
Yeah.
I don't know how the world can sustain it, getting it all the way to home.
Well, if it's at Foodlands, we have a Foodland in Hazel Green. I'm wondering if we could venture up there and see if they have it.
It's pretty good stuff. My wife surprised me with it the other day.
Wow.
We'll have to see if we can track it down. That's next on the item list.
Heads up and the pictures and letting us know about
Yeah,
that
that's
stuff.
next on the item list. Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all have a good day.
He sent me a picture of it.
I saw it. He sent a picture on Facebook to us that it's there. So, we will have to see if we can find it. Foodland, we'll have to track it down. Oatmeal cream pie ice cream. That's the next thing on the hit list. All right. Let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Week 9 is here. We have 2 games of the week. Thursday will be Mae Jemison taking on Gadsden City, and on Friday, Huntsville and Bob Jones. Also coming up on Friday over the airwaves of 97.7 ESPN The Zone will be Buckhorn taking on Coleman. Madison Academy is at Plainview. Randolph plays host to North Jackson. Sparkman's at Florence, and Westminster Christian's at home to New Hope. Be sure and download our app and follow the action all season long.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There are only about 4,300 publicly traded companies on the U.S. stock exchange, but there are an estimated 33 million companies in the U.S. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. The average investor is missing out on over 99% of the investment opportunity that's happening in this beautiful country until now. True portfolio strength is found beyond the confines of the S&P 500, investing in promising companies before they go public. Private real estate, infrastructure, world-changing technologies. This is called the endowment model. The endowment model has historically outperformed the traditional model of just stocks and bonds. If you're an accredited investor and want more from your investments, it's time to think beyond just stocks and bonds. Call Trajan today, 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
Your home from Madison Academy football is on the Mustang Zone.
Looks right, tosses it, wide open, touchdown Mustangs. There on the reception, Zion Williams on the wheel route, and that's 6 on the board there for Madison Academy.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. You love our listeners.
Thank you, Jay.
When we put the word out, we're in search of something. People try to come through.
16 ounces, man.
So that's the Little Debbie version.
Yeah, and they're all Little Debbie. I mean, I think, well, I want to say, because isn't this still, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe
so Cody sent us one. That's the Bluebell.
I know it's Bluebell, but is it?
It's just the oatmeal cream pie one. I don't think it's the Little Debbie. So that's the Little Debbie version.
Is the Little Debbie version.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this is the Bluebell version.
Yeah.
So we can track all this down. We might just have to have an ice cream sampling day.
Oh, wow.
It it cannot be Monday. No. Monday's already Shipley Donuts sampling day.
Yeah, I get asked every day about the Shipley Donuts day.
That's the Shipley Donuts day is Monday. We will be eating Shipley Donuts on Monday. Brody, do not eat anything before you come. It's going to be Donut Day on Monday.
Donut Day.
Yes.
I mean, we were the great folks over at JP2, and they were asking about.
Yes, Tim Miller wanted to know my thoughts again on the strawberry Swiss cake roll stuff.
Well, that and he wants one of your donuts.
He wants one of the cherry donuts. Yeah. Yes, I did.
Everybody wants a cherry donut from Donut Land.
The request has been made. It's let's see here. It's 7:22.
Yeah,
I would say they're on their way to Donut Land now to get them because they've got to get there in the morning to get them.
Yeah,
because they run out of them. So. Mom was asking, yes. So I would assume they're on their way to get them.
Heck, I was even thinking as many requests you're getting they're going to have to get 24 of them. Because if some of them aren't going to make it.
I know some of them are not going to make it all the way down here.
Of course not.
And then once they arrive tomorrow, there'll be even less that'll make it in here tomorrow night because I will have a couple of them as soon as the vehicle pulls into the driveway.
Yep.
No, literally, they'll pull in, and I will have them while they are unloading their bags.
I'm sure you will. You'll be eating them. Yes.
All right. Anyway, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. We've got a very full show for you this morning because that is just what we do here. Coming up here in a little bit, Seth Parker, Priceville High School head football coach, will join us because we're going to talk some team of the week with him. But there is high school football tonight.
Yep.
There are two games in the area going on. Both of them, you could say, have implications as far as region standings and playoffs go. Deschler is taking on East Lawrence tonight. And for the Deschler Tigers, that is a big ball game because if they win that, they're still undefeated in region play. And that'll set up, I believe, a winner-take-all region showdown between them and West Morgan for that one, I believe. I believe that's still the case. I got to double check. But then tonight also, May Jemison and Gadsden City will meet because the winner, if May Jemison can win that ball game, it does keep them alive for a playoff. And yes, next week, Deschler and West Morgan will face each other, both of them undefeated in region play. It would set up a winner-take-all for the region title next week. West Morgan this week has Wilson, so they got to get by Wilson to have that happen. But your game, May Jemison and Gadsden City is big because if May Jemison can get a win, it does keep them alive for a playoff berth.
Yeah, but they have to win because they could have basically been in really strong shape to be in if they had beaten Buckhorn last week on the road. But that was a 6-0 defensive slugfest that the Bucks won, as you heard on 97.7 The Zone. So must-win mode for the May Jemison Jaguars tonight against a really talented Gadsden City squad over at Milton Frank Stadium. Michael Seal and I will have the call.
If you look at the May Jemison schedule, you mentioned that one. The Southside Gadsden one is another one that they could have and probably should have won. They lose that one in double overtime, 22-16.
Tough.
Yeah, so two tough ones there. The Buckhorn 6-0 loss and the Southside Gadsden loss, two tough ones there in region play. That'll come your way. So make sure you have the 97.7 ESPN, the app downloaded, and you'll be able to click on the Game of the Week logo to listen to that one tonight. High school football. Where are you at, Milton Frank, or is it?
Yeah, I believe we are at Milton Frank. And look, man, it's going to be a twofer this week because we'll be for Huntsville Bob Jones tomorrow over at Milton Frank. So we'll have 2 games of the week for you from the Huntsville City School System, and looking forward to both of them. Bob Jones and Huntsville are in a tough spot because, in 7A Region 4, basically the only shot for Huntsville would be if by a very minuscule chance that the Austin Black Bears lose their last region game. Huntsville has a tiebreaker over Austin because they beat them 21-17 head-to-head. But Sparkman, they did not beat, and they did not beat James Clemens nor Florence. And then Florence is playing Sparkman on our network. Both of those teams in the playoffs, but Sparkman Senators could still have a say in the region championship if they can win it. But Florence, they know what they control. If they win this game at Brawley Stadium, they are the outright 7A Region 4, region champion.
Yes.
So there's a lot at stake.
All right, well, let's get a break in. When we come back, we will chat with Priceville head coach Seth Parker. Big game for the Bulldogs on Friday night. Plus, we're going to hand them an honor. All that and more coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s, dropping into the 40s as we head into the overnight early Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. Still temperatures climbing into the 70s and then dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s Friday night, early Saturday morning. It really is going to be a fantastic Friday night for Friday Night Football.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
This is your home for Alabama football.
Looking for Williams. Comes back, makes the catch. Trying to split defenders. Makes them bang into each other. Stays on his feet. Breaks a tackle. Scores. 4 + 2 = 6.
This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Each week, they lace it up. Each week, we'll present our Team of the Week.
Get in here. I got one thing to say.
So it's time for the Bryant Bank Team of the Week presentation.
Yesterday, we honored JP2 girls volleyball, and what a fantastic afternoon we had over there honoring the Falcons. They are, by the way, well on their way down to Hoover now to take on Dora this morning.
9:45, I believe.
In regional volleyball play. So best of luck to them. So that was our volleyball honoree.
Yes.
Today we are going to honor our football honoree for our Bryant Bank Team of the Week. And the Priceville Bulldogs, we've honored them once before, but it's been a couple years. And Seth Parker has taken over as head coach. And they have some big wins this year, big enough to where tomorrow night's game against Russellville is going to come down to you win it, you're going to be at home for round one of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot at stake in 5A Region 7, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup for Priceville as and again, it's never easy to go to Russellville. But they've already played one of the best teams in our state, not just in North Alabama.
Right.
And that was when they hosted, the West Morgan. And West Morgan has the longest winning streak in the state of Alabama in the regular season. That was an 8-7 loss. Matter of fact, the two teams that have beaten this Priceville team have a combined 0 losses because they also
they're both
lost.
ranked within 5A.
Yeah. Fairview looks like they're going to wrap up this region under George Redding Jr., and they've had an amazing season, a record-breaking one. But Priceville's a very solid football team. It's year 2 under Seth Parker. We know his father, Robbie Parker, very well, have a great relationship with him. He's now the headmaster at Lindsay Lane in Athens. Of course, before he was a longtime coach and administrator at Bob Jones, and then over the Madison City school system as superintendent. And then, of course, was principal of the upper school at Whitesburg Christian Academy before taking the job at Lindsay Lane. But Seth was a longtime assistant at Bob Jones. He's taken over this Priceville program for Chris Foster, who we did honor a few years ago. Mason Carty and those guys had an amazing season and were awesome. But now he's reestablished this program. He had to lay the foundation a year ago. Certainly he's laid a strong one. And this group is 6-2 right now, and playing for a home playoff berth against Russellville on Friday night. But they are the Bryant Bank Team of the Week due to their 53-13 win over Lawrence County. And we're going to welcome Coach Seth Parker, who is a frequent listener to the show, Scott, on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline right now. Coach, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, absolutely,
Coach,
man.
congratulations. I mean, congratulations on the success so far.
Yeah, of the season.
The success has put your team in a position Friday night to where the game means a little bit more.
That's right. Yeah, we're excited about the opportunity to go play, at an awesome venue against Russellville. And, it's kind of one of those things you always talk about. If you're playing, meaningful football when it's cold outside, it's you've done some things right. And so we're excited to have a chance to, bring our guys home. And we've kind of challenged the seniors this week. Last week was senior night. And, we've told them, man, what more could you ask for? You got one game. You win this game, you get a chance to play at home one more time, at least one more time. Mm-hmm. And, so we're excited for the opportunity.
Yeah, no question. And as you took this job over, certainly Chris Foster did some amazing things. They played a different style of football, but it was a one built on the line of scrimmage and physicality. What went into your decision-making process with you and your wife and your family to, of course, you had done a really nice job at Bob Jones and been a good assistant coach, but I know this is your first head coaching job. What went into the decision to take this position?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to be a head football coach, and I was, like you said, had the opportunity to be the offensive coordinator for Coach White over at Bob Jones for a few years, and I felt like the opportunity had come, and I felt like I was ready for it, and more than anything, man, I think Priceville is what was so enticing to me. The community is exceptional out here. Our administration's fantastic, and just kind of getting over here and being able to see the community, see the school. It was something that, an opportunity I couldn't turn down, man. And, man, I love it. This is a great place, and I feel like, I'm here at the right time and got really good kids, really good administration, great community. And, what more could you ask for as a high school football coach?
Coach, what's been the biggest difference? Last year, you step on campus, your first year. What's been the biggest difference and the turnaround from last year to this year?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just getting to work. We made sure to, when I came here, one thing I wanted to talk about and make sure was the foundation of our program was the weight room. And I feel like if you don't put that at the forefront, you're not going to win football games. And really that goes for any sport. The weight room's got to be the most important thing you do. And in doing that, I feel like I hired the best strength and conditioning coach around. That's Austin Burke. He's also my defensive coordinator, and he's done an exceptional job in our weight room. And really that's what it was, man. We talked after the season. I told the kids, man, we are going to not be outworked by anybody from here on out. Like, there's no question what we're going to do. And, it's not like we had any move-ins. We hadn't changed anything. We just went to work, and, it's certainly paid off thus far, but, we got a long way to go, and we're excited for the future of this season. Hope we got a lot more games left in front of us.
And Coach, talk about your stamp on the program. They played a certain style of football when under Coach Foster, and I almost considered it a lot like Fife and Paul Benefield. And there's no one I revere and respect more than him. They were extremely physical. They would basically, you knew what they were going to do and still couldn't stop it. But for our listeners who maybe haven't seen Priceville in the last 2 years or seen just a little bit of your program, kind of explain your philosophy and your style of football that you've brought to their community.
Yeah, I think Coach Foster did an outstanding job here. The physicality and the way that they played, the style of offense they ran was something that suited them really well. And I'm certainly a believer in those principles and those foundations as a team, and that's what we still build it on. We certainly want to run the ball. We want to control the line of scrimmage, and that's the the backbone of what we do. I've been fortunate to, like I said, coach with Coach White, and then I've been fortunate to have offensive line coaches like Matt Sweatman and Cyrus Swearingen and guys like that I've been able to learn so much from. And so there's no question the thing we want to do first and foremost is run the football, and we make no mistakes about that. You're going to see that. You come watch us play. We want to run the ball, and we've got backs and quarterbacks that can do so. But at the same time, I've kind of married a little bit of that alongside with some of the spread principles and some of the passing game that I was able to do some at Bob Jones. And I think we've done a good job marrying those two things. It's taken a little bit to get the receivers acclimated to play in the position. But man, we've got two quarterbacks we play, Sheldon Graham and Jack Eubanks. They both doing a great job in the air with their legs. And we've got 3-4 receivers do a great job for us too. So, man, I feel like we've got a balanced offense, but at the end of the day, we want to run the football and we want to do that well and stop the run on the other side of the field.
Well, Coach, let's go back. September 12th, you host West Morgan. West Morgan, I mean, third-ranked Class 4A. They do a great job. I mean, they're one of the best teams in Class 4A. You nearly pull that one off. And then, I mean, you go toe-to-toe with Fairview. Fairview's won the region. They won it a couple weeks ago with that win over Russellville. And then you guys – talk about those two games. And I know you came up short, but what did you learn from your team in those two ball games against ranked opponents?
Well, I think, like you said, both those teams they're exceptional programs. They've got great head coaches that I've, been able to build a little bit of a relationship with. Me and Drew Phillips actually coached together at Athens. And so I've known him for a long time. And, They do such a great job. And so for us to be in those games, it obviously, it's one of those things, yes, you feel like it's a great accomplishment, but we don't want to just be in those games. We want to win those games. But I think the thing we learned is we belong in those games. We feel like we belong in those games, and that this week is another one of those, that we're playing a storied team like Russell is, and at their place. And, it's more about just showing up for the moment and expecting to win in games like this. And so I think we talked about it after those two losses. We didn't necessarily play the way we wanted to play at certain points in the game. And so we're going to learn from those mistakes and use those learning moments to come out and win a big game, hopefully this weekend, and then potentially in the playoffs as well.
Well, Coach, we're talking to Seth Parker, head football coach of the Priceville Bulldogs. You mentioned your two quarterbacks. You mentioned your defensive coordinator, but mentioned how many seniors do you have on this group? Obviously, leadership and buy-in especially from the upper class is so important to building a program. But talk about some of the kids that have stepped up for you and on both sides of the ball that have helped lead you to this 6-2 start.
Yeah, man, we've got 13 seniors, and it's man, these kids mean so much to me. I mean, the gratitude I have for them to buy into what I've been preaching them, and to never balk, never flinch after a 2-8 season. Just keep believing, man. I love this group, and I'm forever indebted to them. But yeah, man, we've got a bunch of guys. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but Bronson Carroll is our lead back, and he does a great job on both sides of the ball. And he got banged up against West Morgan, missed a few games, but his leadership over the last few weeks, getting him back, has been huge. And then Cole Oliver and John Scott Chrisman are two linemen for us that have played a ton of football here at Priceville, and they kind of set the tone for us on both sides of the ball up front. But again, man, I'd go on and on. Guys like Braden Reimer has played exceptional all year. Caden Carty, who's the cousin of Mason Carty.
There you go. There's another
Baker. One. Yeah, that's right. So, man, we've got a great senior group, and man, I love these guys, and I'm so grateful to them. And I hope I get to coach them for about 8 more weeks.
Yeah.
Coach, we're going to honor you. We honor you today with our Bryant Bank Team of the Week. And I know it's just a simple little Team of the Week honor. But when you share this news with your program and you share it with the kids, what does it ultimately mean?
And it means a lot. I mean, I think, when you get any type of recognition, it certainly feels good, and it lets the kids know they're doing some things right. And, I know there's a bunch of, great programs around here, great teams across all sports at all levels. And so for us to be chosen this week, it means the world. And again, I think Drew said it when I got on here, man, I listen to you guys all the time. And so to be on here and be recognized by you guys means the world. And we're just going to keep working, and hopefully there's a reason for you guys to call me back and have us on again before the season's over.
Well, certainly before we let you go, I know you're playing against a guy I got to know him when he was at Plainview several years ago, Dustin Goodwin.
Yeah.
They obviously have a really good program. You mentioned the tradition at Russellville. I know you've been watching film of them. You guys are probably going to have your walkthrough today and get the hay in the barn and get ready to roll and go over there and try to get a tough road win. But what do they present as far as the challenges for your football team?
Yeah, I mean, they are a really good team. If you look at the teams they've gotten beat by this year, I mean, you have Fairview, Deschler, and Mars Hill. I mean, those are 3 of the top teams at our level anywhere in the state. And so, they've certainly been battle tested as we have. And, I think they're athletic on both sides of the ball. They've got a really good back. And, I'll be honest with you, Coach Goodwin's son, he's a sophomore quarterback. He might be the best one we've seen all year. I mean, he's an exceptional player, and I like watching him play. He's quick. He gets the ball out. He makes great decisions. And so, we've got our hands full with him, and we're going to have to play well on that side of the ball. But, and then offensively, we've got to be efficient. They got 2 linebackers, number 10 and 31. They run extremely well. And we've got to go establish, again, like we've talked about, got to be able to establish the run, stop the run. If we can do those 2 things, I feel good about our chances. But I'm sure they'd say the same thing. And so they're a really good team, and we got to go execute and be the more physical team. And hopefully it bounces our way.
Well, $500 from our good friends at Bryant Bank. Well earned. Great job so far in year 2 and getting this Priceville program reestablished as one of the best in 5A Region 7.
Yep.
Certainly we wish you all the luck in the world and safe travels, and hopefully you can bring a W back and get that home playoff game secured. But, Coach, we always appreciate the time, and thank you very much, and good luck to you.
Thank you, guys. Go Bulldogs. God bless you guys.
All right, there you go. And Coach Seth Parker, kind enough to spend some time with us. And Drew, he mentions going over to Russellville, and he mentions Dustin Goodwin being the head coach.
Yep.
His father, Doug Goodwin,
right.
was the coach there at Russellville from 07 to 10
Worked at Auburn for a while.
Yep, before going down and being on the staff there with Gus Malzahn for several years.
Yeah, he was,
down
yeah.
on the staff there for Auburn. All right, 7:46, get a break in, wrap up hour one, but we got some breaking news and some baseball news. You can bet on it.
Oh.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Every gambler knows the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep.
Well, they got the wrong crap. Oh, breaking news this morning. It's not good. First of all, Miami Heat player Terry Rozier arrested. Portland Trailblazer head coach Chauncey Billups arrested moments ago by the FBI. Both arrested for suspicious sports betting. Yeah, Rozier was arrested for suspicious sports betting actively related to his play.
Yeah. In other words, this is Stephen Headache Smith type stuff. if you remember from the Arizona State days.
Chauncey Billups arrested for alleged illegal gambling.
Oh, boy.
Current sitting head coach of the Portland Trailblazers.
And one of his best players. Getting a little complicated there.
Oh, I am sure I can almost bet on it.
Oh,
there'll be more to this story as the day goes along.
Well, Chauncey Billups was also a prominent ESPN analyst, so maybe that's why they basically just showed it for 2 seconds and took it off the screen.
Yeah, ESPN not spending a lot of time on that story this morning. They're asking the question, can Jackson Smith break Calvin Johnson's record?
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba from, of course, from Ohio State, who is off to a good start this year with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's the question they're asking. Anyway.
I mean, and Jigba was a great player at Ohio State, but, I mean, it's not good if you're getting arrested for – I mean, if it's gotten this far down the road and the FBI thinks they need to arrest you.
You in trouble. You better make a phone call, get some bail money.
I didn't even – did the Trailblazers lose last night? Because I know, this has been like opening night of the NBA, and I'll just say it. I did. People are going to think hell froze over, but I did watch a little bit of the Spurs and Mavericks.
Victor Wembanyama, 40 points last night.
Victor Wembanyama is just, it doesn't make sense, and I mean that in a positive way. He's a 7'5" guy that can dribble like a guard and shoot threes, and yet is can play inside. It's illegal. He shouldn't be able to move like that and be 7'5". I mean, to me, in very short order, I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's some great players in the NBA. Giannis, we all know how good he is. Jokic, I love at Denver, but I don't know how much longer it's going to be until Wembanyama is the best player in the world. I mean, he does things that are crazy. I was watching Cooper Flagg, looked a little bit nervous. And just a little bit, I know he's going to get better and he's just going to continue to improve. But last night was a little dicey.
Portland did lose, by the way.
See?
Yeah, 118-114 to the Timberwolves.
There you go. What was the spread?
Got to figure that one out. I don't know. Can you find the spread on that one? Find what the spread was?
Yeah, I'm sure the FBI did. It's never good if they come into your locker room and arrest your head coach and one of your guards.
By the way, the NCAA is going to let coaches and players bet on professional sports now. It's now legal for you to bet on professional sports on the college level.
So, Brad Bohannon should be calling somebody then and be complaining that his show cause should be shortened.
He was betting on his own team. That's different.
Pathetic.
You can't bet on your own team.
Horrendous.
So the other big story that came out yesterday.
I got it.
You got it? What was it?
Timberwolves were 4.5-point favorites.
Oh! They lost by 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder
Must
if
have been
Billups
putting money on themselves.
I wonder if Billups took the over or under.
Oh God, I can't even imagine. And he's the one that's supposed to be playing his rotations.
Well, he kept his cards to the best, did he?
Rozier, you better make this jumper. I'm going to whoop your ass. We got to cover.
We got to cover. Daddy needs a little sugar.
Oh my God. I need donut money.
I gotta pay the Uber.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh my. All right. The other big story that did come out yesterday.
Say we already getting text messages. Brad Bohannon can be a consultant to the Portland Trailblazers.
He can be Chauncey's administrative assistant. He can handle all the backroom bets.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know. We're just about done with hour number 1. We're just about done. Hour number 2, I don't even know. We're going to talk to Travis Reier, and then we'll have Jake Crain at the bottom of the hour. The other big story that did come out, Tony Vitello is indeed
great day in America.
The new manager of the San Francisco Giants, 40th manager in their franchise history, first ever to do it, going from the college level to the major league level.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I told you Pat Murphy used to be the head coach at Arizona State, but he didn't go directly from,
right.
From college to the pros. He got fired actually at Arizona State, then got hired by the Brewers and worked his way up to being manager. Vitello is being hired directly as head coach of the Vols to be the manager of the Giants. 8 years, 2 Southeastern Conference titles, a national championship, and wow, it's historical. There's no question about it. But will he be missed in the SEC? Absolutely not. I hope he understands you can't roll bats in the major leagues to enhance your home runs.
Oh, Buster Posey, the GM of the Giants, is the one that set his sights on Tony Vitello.
Oh, my bad. Let me correct our situation here. Because it shows you how little I follow the NBA, so that's on me.
He plays for the Heat, Rozier.
Yeah, Terry Rozier plays for the Heat. He gets busted. So that doesn't have anything to do with Chauncey Billups. But Chauncey Billups, we can joke that he was probably making sure that his team covered against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night in their 118-114 loss. But yes, thank you, Freddie Kirby. Rozier is with the Miami Heat. Shows you how little I follow the NBA, and I don't really give a rat's ass.
Yeah, they were arrested in separate incidents. Rozier was arrested in Florida.
There you go.
Billups arrested in Portland.
Yeah. So that's on me, but I really don't care because the NBA, besides the inside the NBA, I really don't care.
And that, by the way, made its debut last night.
Yeah.
It made its debut on ESPN. And
it's the one
pretty much about the same. I mean, there's a couple graphic changes, but
Lord that,
they're still doing it in Atlanta.
Thank goodness that they acquired them to help their NBA. That they're as far as their
pre-game, post-game content.
They had Monica McStupid on there the other day, who doesn't know the difference between Shedeur Sanders and Barry Sanders, and I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then you got Kendrick Perkins hitting on, the other analysts on the air. I mean, it's just absolutely just ridiculous.
What's not is we got an hour left of our show. We're not catered for everybody.
Oh, and we got another one of
but we're catered for us.
/guest, Gary Tucker, saying to check out the NBC content that it's out.
Oh, it's awesome. Love NBC, baby. It's back.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Atlanta Falcons 7.5-point home favorites against the Miami Dolphins at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The total 44.5. It's Thursday night football at SoFi Stadium today. Chargers laying 3.5 points against Minnesota. 44.5. The total at SoFi Stadium. In college football, number 4 Alabama, 12.5-point road favorites at South Carolina at Williams-Brice Stadium. Crimson Tide 14-3 all-time against the Gamecocks. Arkansas laying 1.5 at home with Auburn. Troy a 9.5-point favorite against Louisiana at Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the total is 50.5. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 is upon us. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to making Hour 2 possible and dedicated to improving care that improves lives. 256-881-5151. If you want to experience the SportsMed difference, feel free to give them a call today. Don't forget their Saturday sports clinic each and every Saturday, 4715 Whitesburg Drive, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
And we appreciate our listeners for keeping us straight as well when because I don't pay attention to the NBA that much. But yeah, Terry Rozier, Miami Heat guard, as Scott just specified, he was arrested in a separate investigation.
Yep.
Looks like Chauncey Billups has been watching a lot of Sopranos because he's tied to the mob.
It's all one big connected thing, just different. They were arrested at different times, so they're all part of this ongoing thing going on right now, and it's all unfolding right before our eyes and during this show. We'll fill you in if there's anything more that comes awry of it. But another weekend of SEC, that you can bet on, is there's another good weekend of SEC football ahead. It's been chaotic at times. It's been unpredictable at times. It's been predictable in some cases. But this weekend, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen because it's just been kind of, let's use the word again, unpredictable.
Yeah, it has been. There's no question about it. And it's wide open. There's a lot of parity in the sport. Vandy is for real. We saw that last week. Now they get a chance to be on College game day. That's in the bizarro world we're living in. But it's well earned. And Missouri beats Auburn. And then we saw the upset UAB, Coach Mort over Memphis that cost Memphis a chance probably to host game day, as they're going to be playing South Florida in a game with a lot of group of 6 playoff implications. But we always love catching up with our next guest. You can find him on Reier on YouTube and with his daily shows, Second Helping with Brent Beard, as they talk a lot of SEC, and then Talkin' Tide with Chase Goodbread. We're talking about the one and only Travis Reier. Travis, welcome back to the show, man. Good morning.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Pretty good. I know you used to have a segment in Tuscaloosa, Pops on Point. I don't know if we ever I didn't think we'd see anything in the NBA like this, though.
Unreal, right? And you guys are basically informing me as I'm jumping on board with you. But, I go back. I'm old enough to remember waking up to the Nicole Brown Simpson news all those years ago.
Yeah.
And I guess at this point, basically 30, 40 years later, nothing is surprising, I guess, anymore.
No, it really isn't.
Well, Travis, you used the word surprising.
Yeah.
What has surprised you? So we're, 7 weeks into this SEC football season.
We're a little bit past the halfway point.
Biggest surprise to you, and let's just say biggest disappointment right now in the SEC?
Gosh, biggest surprise probably shouldn't be, given that they returned the central nervous system of their football team. But you got to go Vanderbilt in the top 10.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to. I think we understood a year ago, that team on any given Saturday could be a problem for some of the top teams in the league. But at the end of the day, they were still 6-16. So that this still has to be, this Vanderbilt team is the biggest surprise. Biggest disappointment? Oh, wow. Throw a dart right now. I mean, you could look at Florida. Just recently ditched their head coach. South Carolina, I think you'd have to look at, given what the expectations were for the Gamecocks with Lenore Sellers returning. LSU would probably be in that fringe after last week and the loss to Vanderbilt. Auburn, as tough as that schedule is going to be, I don't think a lot of people had them being in the position they're in right now, especially where the SEC is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly didn't think they'd be 0-4.
Right.
It's a very difficult stretch of the schedule, but they've been in every game. They haven't been able to figure it out. And now we'll just start with this game. It's a very tricky road trip to someone they're very familiar with historically, who was their former OC, nearly their coach, Bobby Petrino. And the Razorbacks, I know it's kind of, I don't know if you could call it surprising, but I have been pleasantly surprised at how they've responded to Bobby Petrino. They haven't won, but the football has looked much better. And we've seen this point spread take a very interesting turn, just like we did last week before Auburn played Missouri. Now Arkansas considered the favorite. This is a tricky one for Hugh Freeze.
It is, and it just doesn't get any easier. Now, if you're Auburn, you like the way defensively you can match up with this Arkansas offense that continues to be really, really good. 30 plus in the last two games against what we thought were some pretty good defenses in Tennessee and last week with Texas A&M. So in some ways it's been a continuation of the Sam Pittman era, close but not good enough.
Yeah.
But I agree. Offensively, at least, you certainly know what you're going to get. I think just, procedurally, how they've gone about their business the last two games, as you said, it's looked better than it did under Sam Pittman. So, I'm with you. It's a tough one to pick because I think the strengths for these two teams are going to be on display against each other, good versus good, with that Arkansas offense and that Auburn defense. It probably comes down to the worst of the phases of these teams, with that Auburn offense going against a just terrible Arkansas defense. So this looks like a good spot actually for Auburn to finally get on the board with an SEC win. But even with that defense, the way Petrino and Green and this offense are so balanced right now, they ran for about 260 and threw for about 260 last week against a really good Texas A&M defense. You're still going to have to score some points, obviously, to win this game.
This Auburn offense, though, Travis, I mean, we say it's a good spot, but I mean, this Auburn offense has just been so dismal and so bad. The defense has not allowed more than 24 points, only one of two SEC teams to do that. But offensively, I mean, I know Arkansas's defense is not great, but I don't have confidence that Auburn can even score points against a bad defense.
Yeah, and that's what the game will come down to, I think. Because I don't care who you are. I think Arkansas is going to score into the mid to high 20s. And so you're going to have to figure out a way to get there. And if you can't do it with more from your passing game, with Jackson Arnold and Cam Coleman, the inconsistency at best there in that area has been tough for them to overcome. So I'm sure Auburn would like to control this game, with time of possession and staying on the field, helping that defense even more. Not that it needs a ton of help, but that's the best chance they're going to have to win the game. And, they've got problems kicking the football. McPherson, bless him. Just to be out there, it says a lot about that young man with what he's had to navigate. But, if you're going to run him out there for 40, 45, 50-yard type field goals, as we saw last week, it's just probably not going to happen.
Well, and Travis also to go to another matchup. The word trap game is used all the time. Alabama's been on quite a heater. They've won 4 in a row over ranked teams, which is an SEC record, especially without a bye. They get a bye after South Carolina. Now, when the season started, and you kind of mentioned it in your surprise teams, and as far as in a negative connotation with South Carolina, they were, had a lot of preseason expectations. A lot of people thought they should have been a playoff team a year ago, but they lost a lot of talent to the NFL. I was worried about this transition. And then, of course, Dow Loggins goes to be the head coach at Appalachian. They elevate Mike Shula. It's been rough, no question about it. Yet they still have a first-round talent at QB and redshirt sophomore, Lenora Sellers, who gave Alabama a lot of problems. Talk about this matchup with Alabama headed to Columbia.
Yeah, it's been dismal, no doubt about it. And before the season, if I said, well, would you rather go to Fayetteville or would you rather go to Columbia to play Arkansas or South Carolina, you probably would have said, I'd rather go to Fayetteville. Right now, I think I'd rather go to Columbia because offensively, it's tough for South Carolina, and it starts up front. And the offensive line play has been very substandard. I think Lenore Sellers, some of this goes on him too. If you watch him, he's still in the early stages, I think, of really figuring out what's coming and then processing it post snap. I think he's been sacked 11 times in the last 2 games. And they complicate that by really not being able to run the football at all or well enough for sure. So they've made some changes, as we know, up front. Felt like a little bit of a reshuffling of the deck chairs on the Titanic for that offense. But for Alabama, I think the key is, can you keep Dylan Stewart, Brian Thomas Jr., those guys from wrecking the game defensively for South Carolina? If you can do that, you should have a great shot. And also special teams. Obviously Beamer ball resonates back to Papa Beamer's days in Blacksburg, and South Carolina's returned 3 punts for touchdowns. All 3 of those were in the first 2 weeks of the season. But you can't let your punt team get you beat, because that's been an area Alabama hasn't been very good. The good news for Alabama is I think they punted either a league low 16 times or right there near that number in SEC play. So I think for South Carolina, it's going to take something non-offensive like special teams, like flipping turnover margin on Alabama, who has been very good in that area so far this season, if the Gamecocks are going to get it done at home.
Last weekend, Ole Miss travels to Georgia. Rebels come up short. We've all seen the video of Lane Kiffin's agent, Jimmy Sexton, walking out to the field with him. So now they got to rebound and take on Oklahoma. But now you have to deal with the fact that, is Lane Kiffin going? Is he staying? You have those reports coming off a tough loss on the road to Georgia. You got to go on the road to Oklahoma this week. Tough rebound week for the Rebels.
Yeah, Lane might be able to use Jimmy on that defensive line, to slow down the run a little bit. The good news, though, from that perspective is Oklahoma hasn't been a great team running the football. Now, they were better last week against South Carolina, but it's a fascinating matchup. You get Brent Venables defensively going against Lane and Charlie Weiss Jr. Lane with some interesting comments about OU and its sign-stealing methods early in the week to get us going. So that's always fun. But it's a tough back-to-back to go from Athens to Norman. That was a get-right game in Columbia last week for Oklahoma. Defensively, you can kind of count on that side of the ball. Mateer looks like, in the second start coming back from the thumb surgery or procedure, a good bit better than he was against Texas. So, where Oklahoma struggled a little bit, though, they've given up some explosives in the punt return game the last couple of weeks. So if Ole Miss can maybe create something there, that would certainly be beneficial. But and where do you feel about, how much growth can Trinidad Chambliss make? Because the fourth quarter in Athens, it didn't feel like the first 3 quarters for him. And understanding it's a unit-wide type of responsibility, and the guys around him are protecting him, or up front maybe weren't good enough either. But from that start, is he able to go into this next one a week later and kind of take some of those lessons and put them into play?
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting part of that matchup. And we do know this: Oklahoma defensively has made a ton of strides in this during the season for Brent Venables, and their defensive line may be the best in the league.
They are really good up front, and they just went to town on that South Carolina beleaguered offensive line last week. So, that's one of those November opponents for Alabama.
Yep.
Along with LSU, kind of back to back. And we talk about Alabama's offensive line, and we will, I'm sure, here in a little bit. Down the road, those are some fascinating scenarios to consider. But that is a beautiful thing to have in your back pocket when you can dominate things in the front seven and be chaotic and disruptive like OU can, and put offenses in really, really tough situations. Lane, of course, will have something for that, whether it's tempo or personnel groupings. But this is huge for both of these teams. There's a couple of games that feel like college football playoff elimination games this week, and this one's one of them.
Travis Reier, kind enough to spend some few minutes with us here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And you mentioned Vanderbilt is one of the biggest surprises. They got Missouri this week. ESPN game day there. Missouri coming in off that win over Auburn, double overtime win on the road. Now they're back on the road in Nashville. Vanderbilt favored in this one. Can Vanderbilt stay in the playoff race with a win here?
Wow.
I think they
Crazy,
can. Huh? I think for Missouri last week, Bo Prabula was good enough considering the opposition and specifically the matchup between the quarterbacks in that game at Auburn. He's going to have to be even better this week because you just are at the point with Diego Pavia where you refuse to be surprised. Some of the big moments, he is absolutely built for, and he's shown that over the last season and a half. And so I think defensively, though, Missouri's built in a way to be successful against this Vanderbilt offense. I think they're good enough in their front seven. I think they've got the right combination of physicality and speed and athleticism, especially at the edges, where they're a little bit different than what LSU will present. So I think it's going to be a fun matchup. And I think a lot of it, maybe Missouri gets back to being able to count on production in the run game from Hardy and Roberts. That would certainly be helpful to that offense, as we know. But ultimately, in a matchup with Vanderbilt, you can't hide your quarterback right now.
Yes.
And so Prabula is going to have to be big in big spots.
And then speaking of quarterbacks, Arch Manning, it's been an up and down, odyssey for him. Same way with Blake Chapin, who had the Gators beat, it looked like, and then makes a horrendous mistake. This is an interesting game in Starkville with them facing Texas.
It is, and it is recent enough after the big-time scare you got at Kroger Field last week that we talk about lessons that you're able to take from one road game to the next. That should have taught Texas a lot last week. Kind of felt like they were still on cloud nine from the Oklahoma win. And we've seen it before when Kentucky is sort of discounted and playing at night as you get into October and up there. It's kind of a weird trip. It's kind of like the Fayetteville of the old SEC East when you go to Lexington. And it's a similar trip this week for Texas as far as going to Starkville. And you wonder about the psyche of Mississippi State at some point because they've been right there on the doorstep a couple of times of an SEC win for Jeff Lebby, and they've been unable to get over the hump. Last week was especially painful because they were in field goal range when they threw the interception. Now, maybe a lack of trust in the kicker has something to do with you still trying to throw it around down there a little bit. If so, I get that. But this is another interesting spot, I think, for Texas and kind of, figuring out if they're SEC championship caliber. I don't think they are right now. But they're not good enough on that offensive line to just sort of go into Starkville and think they can waltz out of there with a W.
Right. And then finally, real quick, some thoughts on, I don't think on the bingo card, many people would have had Texas A&M, the last undefeated team in the SEC at this point in the season. But they've had a heck of a run. They survived against Arkansas and Fayetteville last week, 45-42. And now it's a back against the wall game for LSU.
It really is another one of those for LSU, especially. This is it. You pretty much feel like you got to win out from here if you're LSU. And, for Texas A&M, there's some of the problems offensively you're going to get if you're LSU that you got from Vanderbilt a week ago with Marcel Reed playing at a very high level, not being talked about enough when you consider, Pavia and Ty Simpson and some of the other quarterbacks in the league right now. And he can be a real troublemaker with his dual threat ability. And I think for Texas A&M, it's going to be a chip on the shoulder kind of game defensively, because they went into Arkansas feeling like they were 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And that's their identity as much as anything, defense and physicality. And yeah, it was a late touchdown that made that a 3-point game in Fayetteville. But the bottom line is over 500 yards of offense for Arkansas against A&M last week. I don't think LSU's built in a way offensively to do that, primarily because Nussmeier's not as dynamic as Talon Green. And LSU right now just can't run the football like Arkansas is running it.
Right.
So I think that A&M should be able to go in there and get the job done, but it is Saturday night at Tiger Stadium at Death Valley. So you never totally discount the Tigers.
Well, great stuff. Travis Reier on YouTube. Let everybody know how to connect with you, my friend.
We're right there on YouTube, Reier on YouTube. We had Talkin' Tide last night on the channel there on YouTube with Chase Goodbread. Tonight, we'll talk SEC with our good friend, our mutual friend, Mr. Brent Beard.
Awesome.
It'll be a fun show as we get you ready for Week 9, another huge weekend in the Southeastern Conference.
Thank you, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. Join the show next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
cutie. So we play a song from one dude that was investigated and put on trial to one that will be probably put on trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're good.
What a world we live in.
Oh, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, part of a
investigation.
Yeah, part of a several individual arrestee day,
Sounds
arrested
like
as
it's
part of a
they're
gambling
casting a
investigation.
wide net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wide net.
Yeah.
Very wide net. Anyway, 256-576-4977. Number to the phone lines coming up here in just a few minutes. Jake Crain will join us, our weekly visit with Jake Crain. You do have NFL football tonight, by the way. The 4-3 Los Angeles Chargers, 3-3 Minnesota Vikings. If you are a fan of special teams, and if you like Alabama football, this will be your game. Because Minnesota will send out place kicker Will Reier, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, who, by the way, cannot be in the College Football Hall of Fame.
The stupidest thing I've ever heard. The stupidest thing I've ever heard. You've got to change the rules. How in blue hell can you be the all-time leading scorer in the history of college football and not be eligible because you aren't on some stupid All-American team? That's idiotic.
He will handle the place-kicking duties for Minnesota, and a name that Alabama fans loved to hear when he was getting a hold of the football. J.K. Scott will handle the punting duties for the Chargers.
Yeah, he's been there for a while. He's had a good career, J.K., and I think he was the best punter of the Saban era. Certainly, he did a remarkable job from his freshman year on, and it was a 4-year stalwart and got drafted. It was just tough. A lot of punters don't get drafted,
right?
But he certainly had a nice career thus far, and has been with the Chargers for several years now.
By the way, Minnesota again 3-3, Chargers 4-3. Chargers come into this one a 3.5-point favorite tonight.
I believe J.K. spent the first part of his career with Green Bay, who drafted him.
Yes, he did.
And then
he's averaging 50 yards a punt this season is J.K. Scott. Will Reier, by the way, 12 of 12 on PATs, 13 of 14 on field goals this year for the Minnesota Vikings. Anyway, that is your NFL football tonight. We also have high school football again tonight as well. So take your pick. NFL or high school, take your pick there. Let's get a break in, shall we? Because his time is precious, and he's going to give us a few minutes next.
A lot more than 5.
Yes. Our good friend Jake Crain next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s, dropping into the 40s as we head into the overnight early Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. Still temperatures climbing into the 70s and then dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s Friday night, early Saturday morning. It really is going to be a fantastic Friday night for Friday Night Football.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Trust I ain't a better man, but baby, if I was, honestly, I wouldn't put my money on me.
Jake Crain's going to let you know where to put your money this weekend with college football coming up.
They'll probably do a better job than Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey may have put his money.
I don't know.
He may have put his money in the right place. He may be sitting on a gold mine. He just got caught doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. But we're going to talk to Jake Crain here in just a second as he has his weekly segment with us. He's, of course, part of the Real Daily Wire, and he has Crain and Company on YouTube, one of the best shows in the United States, no doubt about it. And we are about to welcome him to the show on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And he's already had our good friend Brooks Austin on this week, who made his SEC and college football picks. And as Jake has already said via his X account, this is an awesome slate of college football. Jake, welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing fantastic. My question is, if it's now going to be okay on November 1st for college players to bet on pro sports, is it then not okay for pro players and coaches to bet on college sports? That's what I want to know.
What a tangled web we weave.
Indeed. Well, Jake, if you were putting money down this weekend on a college football game, is there one that you just say, this is the no-brainer game to put it down on?
Oh, man, I tell you, I like Alabama. I don't care the points against South Carolina. It's just, especially if Dylan Stewart's not going to be able to go. I mean, if you're gonna beat the Dark Emperor, you need everybody from the Rebellion to be healthy and ready to get the lightsabers out. Past that, look, I like South Florida against Memphis.
Yeah.
I'm just, and not just because Memphis lost to UAB. I just don't think it's a great matchup schematically and personnel wise for what Memphis has going up against South Florida. One that I find intriguing is UCLA plus 25.5 at Indiana. Look, I know Indiana's really good. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
But UCLA is 3-0 since the change. Not that UCLA is going to win, but 25.5 is a big number for a team that's hotter than Hansel at the Male Model Awards right now.
And I will say this, I don't really think anybody saw Tim Skipper and UCLA coming with a 3-game winning streak after that horrible start.
Well, I'll tell you this, too, and this is something we talked about on the show yesterday. Don't forget, Tim Skipper was also the interim at Fresno State.
Good point.
When he had to take over because of health reasons. I believe it was for Jeff Tedford.
That's right,
and
Tedford.
They did really well. He may be the greatest interim coach ever.
Well, I mean, I'll just say this. I'll make a prediction. You're saying UCLA has a chance to cover here, and I understand what you're talking about. If they were to shock the world and win in Bloomington, I think Skipper will be the head coach.
I don't know how you don't make him the head coach. I mean, look, if the substitute teacher comes in and 2 months into it, the class is the best one in the country, you probably should hire him full time.
Yeah, no question about that.
Well, Jake, you alluded to Alabama and South Carolina. The other ones, I mean, this is a heck of a weekend slate for the SEC. When we were sitting in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, I don't think there was a person in the building. Well, there may have been somebody in there because there's always that one person that would have had Vanderbilt and Missouri both being ranked and hosting College Game Day in the same weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you had that one, we need to call the cops because something's up. What did you invent? What did you find? But no, look, I think it's fantastic, man. And this is actually the second time that Vandy's been involved in a College Game Day. You know, I believe Game Day went to Tuscaloosa.
Correct.
When Vandy went and played Bama. I can't remember. I don't know if that's ever happened before. But again, it's just kudos to Clark Lee, who's the name that if Hugh gets fired, and you'll see today in our show with Pete Nakos, Auburn would heavily consider, which I find really interesting. That's if he doesn't get the Penn State job before that were to happen. But these are two good football teams, man. And the thing about Vandy is, again, we've grown up, and rightfully so, being conditioned to look at Vandy as the whipping boy of the SEC. But you got to take the past off. Like, this is a quality football team. They've got depth. They've got team speed. And their ideology on offense, they still run a system that is designed to try and negate some athleticism on the other team to make up for their lack of athleticism. If you watch what they do with pre-snap motions, with putting 3 levels in conflict every single play, it slows down a defense's feet, it slows down a defense's pass rush, and speeds up their eyes. But they're doing it with a really good personnel. The thing about Missouri is, Bo Prabula still got to show that he can get to the second and third read and not panic in the pocket. That's the next step, in my opinion, for Missouri.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're talking to Jake Crain, Real Daily Wire, Crain and Company, daily on YouTube. Jake, let me ask you, Texas A&M, LSU, this seems like a last stand for this season for Brian Kelly. His seat will be scorching hot, I think, if they don't win this game. A&M escaped against Arkansas, didn't play their best football. This game's at night in Baton Rouge, but Vanderbilt destroyed LSU last week. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, what Mike Elko is doing at A&M is so impressive, and they're finding ways to win games that they've lost in the past.
Right.
And they're winning games in multiple ways. I mean, just look at the way they play on the road defensively. You ended up giving up 34 at Notre Dame. You had a block punt that made it 40. You gave up, 42 at Arkansas. But they've won track meets and they've won rock fights, and that shows maturity. that shows complimentary football. And sometimes you got to be a chameleon. You just have to, especially when you go on the road. I am not going to bet this game. I'm not going to touch it. But something in my gut tells me that LSU is going to win this football game. Not just because they have to, and I think it's going to be more because of the defensive side.
Right.
It just feels like 27-24 at LSU to me, and they do have to have it. But that doesn't take away, even if A&M were to lose this game, because, guys, all they've really got to do is split these next two at LSU and at Missouri, and that's going to give them a lot of runway and a one-game cushion because 10-2 gets you in the playoff as an SEC team. So it's just been a total renaissance year for A&M, and I'm excited for that fan base. They've waited a long time for it.
Does Mississippi State, they're at home, they've looked good at home. You could say they're 2 plays away from having just 1 loss. Yeah. Do they? I mean, Texas has come in and Texas
How the hell did they win that game over Kentucky?
They haven't been lights out. Arch Manning seems like he's getting better and progressing, but does Mississippi State have enough ammo in the gun to get this upset?
Well, if Kentucky's got enough ammo offensively to put up those numbers, I know they didn't score a ton of points,
right?
Then for sure Mississippi State can do it at home. And I tell you guys, that game at Florida, what makes it worse for Mississippi State is they were going to fire Billy anyway.
Yeah,
they were going to fire him anyway. And if Blake Saban doesn't throw it to the biggest guy on the field, I think they win it. And to be honest with you, they got a field goal taken away from them too. That field goal was good. That kid kicked went right over the upright, which is a Mays field goal. But yeah, I mean, I was just more surprised at Kentucky's ability to move the ball because Texas's defense, it's like Zoolander. It's the same look, right? We know what Texas is. They've been a defensive-heavy team. They did find a way to bow up in the red zone. You got to give them credit for that. But for sure, I mean, it's a 7-point spread. This Mississippi State team is good enough to beat Texas. But Texas continues to stay in the hunt. And Arch is getting better. It's not by leaps and bounds, but he is getting better. What I find funny is whatever Texas fan is calling for Sark to stop calling the plays, you need to get your head checked.
Yeah, I'm still not with that. I think Sark is a heck of a play caller. No question about it. Now, I have to admit, man, we watch for your reactions to get, for intel, for insight. But I have to say, I know it's been painful for you, Blaine and David. These it's like rinse and repeat, these Auburn reaction shows. I mean, they just find a way to not get it done against Missouri yet again. And now they go to Arkansas, which, I mean, I guess I'm now with you. Until they win a game, I'm gonna pick the opponent. I'm gonna pick the Razorbacks, but I think it's a winnable game for Auburn. They've played well in the last several years at Arkansas. Arkansas has had trouble winning home games, but this Auburn football team offensively, they just can't seem to get out of their own way.
Yeah, at this point, just please, Steve Pearl, save us.
Yeah,
that's something. At this point. And look, again, I get no joy in saying it, but I'm not going to gaslight people into trying to believe one thing because, at the time, and if you go back and look, once Lane decided not to come to Auburn, the candidates that Auburn had, it just wasn't a good cycle. Because just like the NFL draft, just like recruiting, it ebbs and flows when it comes to certain positions, whether that be head coach or whether that be, linebackers at a high school or whatever. What you can chalk it up to is that offensively, and look, at some points defensively too. I mean, Auburn's defense has been great, but in crucial moments, you let Georgia drive 97 yards and kick a field goal before halftime. You let Missouri score on you score on you to tie the game in the fourth quarter, and then score on you in overtime. The team is just mentally weak. Yeah. And again, I get no joy out of saying it, but it's the truth. And there's a great quote in Remember the Titans, attitude reflects leadership. And when you look at Hugh Freeze on the sideline, he looks defeated, right? Or just waiting for something bad to happen. And any Auburn fan out there knows that for the past couple years, or since Hugh's been there, really what seems like since Harsin and Freeze has been there, if the game's close, it's not a matter of if Auburn's going to find a way to lose it. It's when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. And they're just mentally weak. And there's no excuse for it. Auburn has given Hugh Freeze all the resources. They even moved the NIL budget forward a year and increased it for him to go get talent. I just, the most baffling part of it to me, the two things that are baffling. One is that, if Auburn was losing games like 38-35 because Hugh Freeze is an offensive guy, you could maybe understand that a little bit. It wouldn't make it feel better, but you could understand it a little bit more. But Auburn is bad at what Hugh Freeze is supposed to be good at.
Yeah.
And the second thing is how, when your job is on the line in year 3, you decide to go get Jackson Arnold, who was a rescue in the Humane Society at Oklahoma because he bit 2 kids and pees all over the house, is shocking to me. It just, I would love to have been in that room when they convinced themselves that this was a good idea. Because old dude, when the moment is the biggest, is horrified. He can't even get he's Chuck Knobloch at second base. That's what he is. It's almost like the yip. And it's baffling. And that's why you're probably going to get fired. That's going to be one of the main reasons why you're probably going to no longer be the head coach at Auburn after this year, and they need to go get John Summerall.
What do you make of, since we're there with Auburn, what do you make of the SEC permanently suspending Mr. Williamson, the referee?
Well, it's amazing to see accountability for an official. I can't tell you the last time I've seen that. But two things can be true at once. The officiating was awful against Auburn in that Georgia game. I mean, it's blatantly awful. But that doesn't excuse how bad Auburn was in the second half. You still had a 7-point lead. You still had a 7-point lead in the second half with the ball at midfield. So on one hand, yes, it's deserved. That guy should never be a referee in a big game or in an SEC game again. But also, it doesn't excuse the way that Auburn made no adjustments and has been absolutely pitiful in the second half of football games. That's coaching.
It really is. And then finally, I wanted to ask you, we haven't talked about this game much this week, but, they nearly shocked Texas at home. Is this a trap game for Tennessee with Kentucky, or is this just Kentucky not being able to get out of their own way, and ultimately, no matter what, they're not going to find a way to win?
Well, if you have 2 losses at this point, there's no way any game is a trap game because, again, 10-2 is that sweet spot if you're Tennessee. And I will say, it's kind of a break for Tennessee that Kentucky was in such a hard-fought game and then lost.
Yeah.
Because, again, you're going to be beat up. We know how physical that game was. And you just wonder how much fight this Kentucky team has left in them. It'd be different if Kentucky won that game and had some confidence going into it. But I feel like Tennessee, again, I know Tennessee's defense has not been great. I'm just struggling to see Kentucky put together 2 awesome offensive performances, even though they didn't score a lot of points against Texas, and that's what matters the most.
Well, good
great stuff, Jake.
Always good from Jake Crain. And I will, final question. I've said this, I said it on the show this week. I was wondering what would be the aftermath of Mizzou. They lost in double overtime. If he doesn't beat Bobby Petrino, does he even make it back to the bus?
From what I know, and from people I trust, if he loses to Arkansas, I think he's fired on Sunday. I really believe that.
There we go.
There we go.
That's what we wanted to straight.
And I'll say this too.
Go ahead.
If not, Auburn's an unserious program.
Unserious. Couldn't be said any better by Jake Crain. Great. Jake, we always appreciate your time each week. Let everybody know how to connect with your show.
Yeah, man. Look, if you listen, we're, it's Crain and Company, Crain and Company. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Easiest way to find us is YouTube. Same name. Literally got a show out today. If you're interested in these coaching searches or which coach is getting fired next and who will replace them, you're definitely going to want to check out today at 2 p.m. Central. we have one of the best in the business, Pete Nackos, coming on, who's really in tune and tapped in. So come check us out.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jake.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Y'all be good.
All right, we got to get a break in. When we come back, two things. The SEC announced their Legends class yesterday. Big props to a former Madison Academy. Let's just say Madison Academy. Standout. Big props there.
Madison County.
In Madison County. But also college basketball now dipping into the G League. We'll explain it all next.
It's kind of hard to explain.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
He'll go on the toss to Jam. He cuts it back. He's got a first down.
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide head east for SEC action against South Carolina. Our coverage begins at 11:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit woodyford.com.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The SEC announcing yesterday the SEC Legends class that'll be honored during the SEC Championship game December 6th.
Yep.
Alabama will have C.J. Mosley recognized.
Tremendous. Just retired from the Jets.
Auburn will have Cam Newton recognized.
Of course, just had his number retired.
And then everybody here in the Rocket City, Huntsville, Madison County area, they will know this name once you say it because, well, he was fantastic in a Madison Academy uniform. The one, the only, Jordan Matthews will be recognized as a Vanderbilt Commodore.
Greatest receiver in Vanderbilt history.
Still holds SEC and Vanderbilt records.
I was going to say one of the best in SEC history, and he had to catch passes from Jordan Rodgers, so God bless him. And now Jordan Matthews, after a nice NFL career, back on the staff with Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, contributing to his alma mater. Just one heck of an athlete, one heck of a dude, and He got that pipeline rolling from Madison Academy.
The great R.C. Slocum will be recognized. Their Texas A&M head coach, longtime Texas A&M head coach,
defensive coordinator and head coach, and R.C. Beloved by the Aggie Nation.
Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, will be LSU's legend.
Hey, let Kevin Norwood introduce him. Yeah, I'm petty.
And then South Carolina. He had one really fantastic ball game as quarterback.
Garcia, we know that one.
Connor Shaw.
Oh, damn. Okay, my bad. I liked him better than Garcia. I thought you were going to talk about Stephen Garcia because he beat Alabama.
Stephen Garcia had one shining moment.
Yeah, Luther Vandross.
Yes. Connor Shaw had a couple. He had a few more moments, I think, than Stephen Garcia.
Right. He was a good player.
Anyway, that's going to be your SEC Legends class.
I knew I'd say that.
Brandon Spikes will be there for Florida.
Hey, ask him about his last Alabama game when he quit.
You're not petty at all, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, get your rest, brother. You got a football game tonight.
Yeah, going to get some Mucinex. Just going to hammer it. And
don't oversleep.
I'm not going to oversleep. Good God. We got to be over at Priceville High School.
Well, you still got time after that to take a nap.
Maybe an hour.
All right. Cherry donuts are on their way.
Here we go.
We'll have them tomorrow night.
Heck, we might even have them with oatmeal ice cream at this point. Maybe you can go get your parents to buy some oatmeal ice cream.
Got to go to food. I got to drive to a Food Land, apparently.
No, it's Walmart on University Drive.
That's the Little Debbie version.
Yeah, the Little Debbie version.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee.